everyone! Welcome once again to our YouTube channel, Research Ready and Student Matters Hub by Doc Lynn. This time, meron tayong i-discuss na another lesson video at itong part ng research na ito ay nasa chapter 1 pa rin commonly ng inyong mga thesis or dissertation. At ito yung tinatawag nating scope and limitation. Pero sa ibang part ng mga research paper sa ibang schools, ang tawag nila dito ay scope and delimitation. Pero ang isang malaking tanong, ma'am, meron bang pagkakaiba ang scope at ang limitation? Merong pagkakaiba ang scope and limitation at yun yung i-discuss natin dito sa lesson video. I-define natin kung ano ang scope, ano ang limitation, at ano nga ba ang laman ng scope and limitation ng inyong study. Let us now define what do we mean by scope. The scope refers to the extent of the study and its coverage regarding the subject matter. It defines what will be covered by the research, including specific objectives, populations, geographical locations, and time periods. In other words, ang scope ay nagsiset ng boundaries at parameters ng inyong research. Ini-ensure ng ating scope yung kakayanan natin or yung kakayanan ng research natin pagdating sa time, sa resources, sa number of people na kailangan mag-participate sa ating study. Ito yung commonly siniset ng scope ng ating study. Ano naman yung sinasabi nating limitation? Limitations of research refer to the constraints or restrictions within the study that may affect the validity or interpretation of findings. These limitations can arise due to factors such, example, methodology, sample size, access to data, and external variables beyond the researcher's control. Kaya nag-identify si researcher ng kanyang limitations kasi ginaguard niya din yung pwedeng maka-apekto dun sa kanyang research. And if this will be explained inside your paper, the readers will understand why such thing or circumstances happen in your research. This might arise on the methodology, the sample size, or the extraneous variables that you included in your study. Now, pag maglalagay tayo ng limitation sa ating study, importante rin na lagyan natin ng explanation kung paano natin na-overcome or ginawa ng paraan or need nating i-justify yung limitations ng ating study. Now, bago tayo mag-discuss kung ano nga ba ang laman ng scope and limitation, gusto kong i-emphasize gaano siya ka-importante sa loob ng inyong paper. Number one na importance niya yung clarity. When I read your paper and I have seen your scope and limitation, which discusses all of the ingredients that I have mentioned a while ago, nakikita ko yung focus ng research mo. Naintindihan ko kung ano yung objectives ng study mo. Pangalawa, pwedeng focus. No? So, aside from clarity, na-explain mo specifically yung lahat ng parts ng research paper mo, nagbibigay ka na ng little details about ano ba yung focus ng research mo. Sino ba specifically yung magiging participants or respondents mo, at pwede mo ring i-explain bakit sila yung napili mo or bakit sila yung tamang tao na sumagot sa mga katanungan mo. Pangalawa, yung mga methodologies na gagamitin mo, so bakit ba siya nagsusut sa iyong research paper? At saan mo ba ikakandak ang iyong research paper or saang lugar ka magpo-focus na pagkakandakan mo ng iyong research paper at kailangan mo ring sabihin ang dahilan kung bakit. Ganon din yung time, so kung kailan, kung magkakanda ka ba sa loob ng 3 buwan, ng 4 na buwan, ikakandak mo ba siya ng cross-sectional? So pag sinabi natin cross-sectional, isang beses ka lang magkakandak ng iyong study, or longitudinal, or there are so many times or series of studies na gagawin mo on the same subject. So yung scope and limitation mo, nabibigyan mo ng focus yung iyong research. Another importance ng yung scope and limitation ay yung tinatawag nating transparency. Kasi nakikita ng readers mo ano ba yung kakayahan ng research mo at ano ba yung hindi niya na-cover. So nabibigyan natin sila ng details kung ano yung pwedeng ilaman ng ating research at kung ano yung pwedeng magamit nila bilang isang future researcher. At ang pinakahuli naman ay ang scope and limitation na po-provide siya ng future directions ng research mo at ang research ng iba. Pwede ka mag-provide kasi ng insights para i-highlights mo yung mga iba pang bagay na kailangan i-explore ng iba pang researchers, more particularly sa mga limitations. Minsan diyan din nakakakita yung mga future researchers ng tinatawag nating gap na pwede nilang i-address doon sa kanilang mga research paper. So yung limitation ng study mo, it can help them, ito pala, hindi niya pala ito na-discuss, na-explore, or na-investigate. So, in my research, pwedeng ako naman yung gumawa nun. So, yung tinatawag nating gap. At nakikita natin yun madalas din sa limitation of the study. Okay, let us now discuss what will be the contents of your scope and limitation discussion. Let us summarize it into 5 WH or 5 W's and then the 1 H. Let's start with the first W, which is the what. Sa inyong research paper, kailangan ninyong i-articulate clearly ano ba yung intention ng study nyo. Pwedeng kasama nito yung identifying the main research question or problem you aim to address. But commonly, ang nilalagay natin dito is yung general objective or yung title ng inyong study. Pangalawang W is yung why. So, what do you want to achieve in your research? If you have stated that you wanted to study this topic or subject, what is your intention? So, bakit? You have to justify your decision. And then the next W is the where. So, this is what we call the geographical scope. Saan ka magkakandak ng research mo? Is it local, regional, national, or international? But you also have to justify your decision. Why you choose or part of the scope mo yung particular na lugar na iyon. The other W is the when. So this is the temporal scope. Over what period will your study cover? So, siya ba ay within a period of few months, a quarter, a year, 2 years? So, as a researcher, ilalagay mo din yan sa iyong research paper and of course, include a justification, a simple justification why yun yung napili mo sa iyong temporal scope. The last W is the who. This is the subject scope. Who will participate in your study? Are there specific demographics or industries that are involved? Explain your population or sample if you are going to use it and then justify your decision. Then last one is the how. It describes the methods and techniques na gagamitin mo sa pag-collect at analyze mo ng data mo. Pwede mong i-discuss kung anong approaches ang gagamitin mo sa research, either quali, quanti, or mix. At from these approaches, anong design ang kailangan mong gamitin at anong methods. So you have to explain that. On the last part of your scope and limitations is or are the limitations. Now, there are so many limitations of the study that you might consider. So, kung gagawa naman kami ma'am ng limitations, depende ba yon sa gusto namin na ilagay na limitations? Commonly, ang limitations are beyond the control of the researcher. But there are also times that you really intend to limit your study during your proposal. Meron ako mga ilang bagay na ibibigay sa inyo para ma-identify nyo yung common limitations na included sa inyong study. Number 1, yung sample size. You can have a question such, is your sample size sufficient to draw meaningful conclusions? Kasi this can be part of your limitations. And I have given here a sample statement wherein pwede nyong makita sa mga limitations of the study. So here it goes. Due to resource constraints and the specific demographics targeted, the sample size for this study is limited to 200 participants from urban high schools. But if you're going to notice also, as part of the discussion, dinastify niya rin kung ano yung ginawa niya dun sa kanyang limitation. More specifically ay ito. The sample size may restrict the generalizability of findings beyond the selected school. Nonetheless, Rigorous statistical methods will be employed to draw meaningful conclusions within the scope. Nag-cite siya ng limitation, pero si researcher, nagbigay din siya ng justification paano niya masusolusyonan yung limitation. Another example is, one of the source also of limitation is data availability. Minsan, mahihirapan talaga tayong makakuha ng data, lalo na yung access natin. In the Philippine context, meron tayong tinatawag na Data Privacy Act. So, mai-encounter talaga natin yan. So, you might ask yourself, are there constraints on accessing relevant data or information? So, I have given here an example. Access to comprehensive data regarding student academic performance during the COVID-19 pandemic poses a significant challenge for this study. So, naging mahirap dun sa researcher yung pagkuha niya ng data. Sinabi niya din dito na detailed data on specific aspects such as socioeconomic background or individual student health records are restricted due to privacy regulations. Kasi kahit anong gawin natin, lalo na during that time, hindi talaga tayo makakakuha ng data. So, ang sabi ni researcher, therefore, the analysis will primarily rely on aggregate academic data and self-reported information gathered through surveys, limiting the depth of insight into certain influencing factors. So, nire-reveal na ni researcher, napaka-transparent niya, no, na sinasabi niya na yung data niya ay magre-rely lang dito sa particular na data na ito. Na there will be no too much expectation from the readers kung ano pa yung data ang isasama niya. Okay, so we have an example here of a paper, but this is done for the purpose of discussion only here in our lesson video. You cannot find this sample paper elsewhere. So, ginawa ko lang ito para ma-emphasize sa inyo na makita natin yung mga WH at saka yung H question natin. So, ang title ng research natin ay Role of Social Skills in Graduate Employability, Perceptions and Practices in Antipolo-City. Una nating hanapin yung what. So, syempre yung what, sabi ni ma'am, ay dapat nandun siya sa unahan. So, ito siya. Dinidiscuss dito sa what natin kung ano ba yung research ng ating pinag-uusapan dito. And that is all about the perception of the graduates sa importance or significance ng social skills pag maghahanap sila ng trabaho. Ngayon, kung ito na yung ating general objectives or yung ating research questions or yung ating intention, ang susunod natin kailangang explain bakit. Why do we need to conduct this study? And this is stated here. So, let us change the color. And this is stated here kung ano yung intention ni researcher kung ba't niya yun ikakandak. So more specifically, sabi niya, providing insights for educational institutions and job seekers on enhancing employability. So importante daw yung kanyang research. Ang susunod, sinabi dito ni researcher na yung kanyang research will be conducted over a period of 8 months. So 8 months daw niya ang gagamitin niya para makandak niya yung kanyang study. At saan daw niya ikakandak ito? Ikakandak daw niya ito sa Antipolo City. Sinasabi din na itong location na to, gina-justify niya, no? Yung location daw na to ay napaka-importante, particularly ito nga, because there is a diverse job market and concentration of educational institutions. Dinastify niya rin yung kanyang respondents at kung paano niya siya pipiliin base dito sa kanyang explanation. So sabi niya, this will be conducted over 8 months at diniscuss niya rin dito kung sino yung mga magiging respondents niya. So it answers the question who. Ang kanyang respondents ay yung mga graduates na nakakomplete ng kanilang studies within the past 2 years. At gagamit din siya ng purposive sampling with approximately 150 participants. So nasagot natin yung the what, the why, the when, the where, and then the who. Let's move on the how. So, ang how niya, ang gagamit daw siya ng quantitative and qualitative interviews. Ito yung kanyang ini-emphasize dito, no, na kanyang gagamitin. Paano siya magkakandak ng kanyang study. Tapos, in-explain din niya dito, bakit, no? Bakit siya gagamit nitong mga methodologies na ito. Gamit daw siya ng follow-up interviews, gagamit siya ng survey, tapos in-explain niya rin dito. At sinabi niya rin at the end, syempre daw, itong dalawang datasets, kung gagamitin niya ito pareho, it can help to triangulate the findings. At ang data analysis na gagamitin niya, since gumamit siya ng quanti at saka quali, ay statistical analysis. At the same time, thematic analysis. So, tapos na tayo sa how. Natapos natin yung WH, natapos din natin yung H. Dito tayo sa last part ng scope and limitation. Ito, dinidiscuss dito kung ano yung limitation ng study ng researcher. So more specifically, sabi ng researcher, nag-rely siya sa self-reported perception ng graduates na po pwede daw ma-impluensyahan ng social desirability at magkaroon ng bias. To address this problem, the survey questions will be carefully designed to minimize biases. And, syempre, magkakandak daw siya ng qualitative interview para meron siyang deeper insights galing sa mga participants. Further, this study will only focus on the graduates daw sa isang specific university. So po pwedeng, siguro sinasabi niya na ito ay pwedeng maging limitation on a general context. Pero, she also, or the researcher also, tries to justify na yung findings will still provide valuable insight base dun sa perceptions at experiences ng mga graduates. So by having this example, we can clearly articulate na kompleto yung ingredients or laman ng isang scope and limitation ng isang researcher kung ganito yung kanyang gagawin. So yung guide ninyo, kailangan nandun yung sagot sa WH question, tapos yung sa H natin, plus yung last part ng iyong research paper ay limitations. Hindi lang natin isa-cite yung limitations natin. Kailangan natin i-justify kung ano yung ginawa natin para ma-address itong limitations. So that ends our lesson video in making your scope and limitation. I hope that this lesson video will help you in completing this part of your research paper. Please like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel, and please share it also with others so that you can also help them find kung papaano matuturuan silang gumawa ng scope and limitation. You can also type your comments in the comment section if you have questions regarding making scope and limitation. I would like to thank you all for always watching all our lesson videos. Always remember, we unlock insights to empower your minds. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you and God bless. Bye-bye, everyone.